It is match week 6 in the Champions League. It is Atalanta hosting Chelsea at the Bergamo in Italy. It's a big match coming to you live from Italy. Both teams having the exact same record heading into this game. Great position that both clubs find themselves in, but a win here would really accelerate their position into the top 8 here. Well, Chelsea having a nightmare December so far. My word, it's been terrible in the league. A draw to Arsenal, which wasn't a bad result considering the situation. But that loss to Leeds United was absolutely unacceptable. And then a draw against Bournemouth at the weekend means that Chelsea in December have got off to the worst possible start here. Chelsea are known to be charity FC, aren't they? Especially when the festive season is around the corner. Rob Sanchez, magnificent in goal against Bournemouth. Definitely kept us in the game and preserved our clean sheet. More than luck rather than judgment in that, but he was brilliant. Massive news for Chelsea is that Moises Caicedo is back in the lineup. He is available in the Champions League. Still is going to miss one more game here as João Pedro looks to burst forward. Brilliant touch there from the Brazilian. But he's been muscled away by Raul Bellanova. Chelsea looking for a fast start here. Reece James once again in midfield alongside Moises Caicedo. The back three of Achiampong, Chalobah and Benoit Badiashile should give us the height, the presence, and then the composure at the back, which is critical, especially in an away game in the Champions League with the likes of Gianluca Scamacca, Ademola Lookman and Charles de Ketelaere all going to have plenty of problems as Rafael Palladino has made 3 changes from his side in the weekend here. 12th in the league here, Atalanta in Serie A. Not the kind of start that they were hoping for after qualifying for this season's Champions League. Here's Bellanova, the right wing back today. Cucurella with a good interception there. Well, Atalanta are playing in their 3-4-3 shape here. Gittins does well. Cucurella fires that ball here to João Pedro, controls it, but takes an age to get there. Moises Caicedo, brilliant. We saw what Chelsea's midfield is like without Moises Caicedo. We've learned to win games without Cole Palmer, who hasn't travelled to Italy today, but without Moises Caicedo, Chelsea are a shell of themselves. And João Pedro is getting involved early here. His touches have been absolutely brilliant so far. Here's Gittins now. Gittins starting to contribute with goals and assists finally for the Blues, but his performances need a bit more of a spark, don't they? Strong play there from Odilon Kusunu, the Courtois centre-back. Lovely play there by Martin de Roon. And here's Lookman, the danger man for Atalanta. Lovely play on the left-hand side here. Charles de Ketelaere. Scamacca tries to just squeeze that pass. Well defended. Oh, Enzo Fernandez giving the ball away. Well, he was hugely culpable for Leeds United's second goal in that game away at Ellen Road. Well, he miscontrolled the ball. He has not started December well here. And without Moises Caicedo in midfield, Enzo Fernandez has really struggled. Well, the back three of Syed Kolasinac, Behrad Jimsiti and Odilon Kusunu is going to be tasked of keeping Marco Carne Secchi in goal. As jobless as possible. Easier said than done considering Chelsea in the Champions League have been finding goals. 2 against Karabakh, 3 against Barcelona. That 3-0 victory was absolutely crucial considering the position where we found ourselves in that game. Here's Atalanta now, just looking to keep the ball and force Chelsea back into their defensive shape here. Kusunu finds Bellanova. Raul Bellanova, the Italian right wing back. Youngster trusted in a big game such as this against the likes of Jamie Gittins will be a tough test for him. Lookman finds Edison. Here's Scamacca. Definitely makes the ball stick there. And on the right hand side, here's De Ketelaere. Good ball in and Lookman was there. Excellent work from Enzo Fernandez. Chelsea have to make sure that we don't concede the first goal here, because if Atalanta do get that first, it could be in for a really long night. That game against Karabag away was shocking from Chelsea in Kazakhstan. Making that long journey. Picked up a point. It was an undeserved point, really, considering how poorly we played in that match. Josh Achimpong in the starting 11, after missing out on a lot of game time here. Lenzo Maresca spoke about his one big regret against Leeds United was not playing. Oh, there's a chance here. Lookman with a cutback. Oh my word, Chelsea get away with murder there. Somehow it's cleared away. Brilliant play down the left-hand side. Ademola Lookman, once again the chief architect of whatever good Atalanta do in the forward areas. Here's Cousineau. Finds Darun. Martin Darun, the skipper, alongside Edison in midfield, will try and match Reece James and Moises Caicedo. Very confident so far. Kolasinac is looking to just drive forward with the ball, but I think he might have just picked up a knock here. You saw Ademola Lookman. So dangerous. Again, he makes things happen. Lovely one-touch movement here from Atalanta in the Chelsea box. The cutback was there. He went for goal instead and not the cutback. Sanchez with a very sharp save here. Brilliant from Rob Sanchez, who continues his form from the weekend. Cucurella made sure that he was at the goal line as insurance cover. Lovely turn there from De Ketelaere, and it's Benoit Badiashile who commits the foul. Pretty even game so far at the Bergamo here. New Balance Arena in Atalanta. And Atalanta absolutely fine in the Champions League for them. 3 wins, 1 draw and 1 defeat. The defeat came against the reigning European champions in PSG. It was a heavy defeat. 4-0 at the Parc des Princes. Here's Carnesecchi. Finds Cousineau has been put under pressure. Reece James is trying to hound the player in midfield there. Villanova's caught in a cul-de-sac. Chelsea trying to recover possession high up the pitch, which we do. Good pressing there by Marc Cucurella. Made sure that he was touch tight to Raul Bellanova. A win here for Chelsea would be absolutely massive in the Champions League. Just the 10 points so far, averaging 2 points a game. Here's Trevor Chalobah. Again, the height and power of Gianluca Scamacca is going to be something that Trevor Chalobah will have to deal with today. He's a fantastic link-up player. If you want to see someone as close in terms of profile from the past, I would say Gianluca Scamacca is pretty much close to Olivier Giroud. Doesn't have the pace, but his touch and his link-up play is at a very high level. He moved to West Ham, but that signing did not materialize. But how many strikers have we seen that have really failed for West Ham over the years? Especially ones when West Ham do deserve to try and buy from outside the Premier League. Again, Badiashile's trying to be touch tight here. He's lost on a couple of occasions. Scamacca does very well. Lovely switch there by Darun. Good strong play there from Achimpong. Pedro Neto. Lovely again there from Joao Pedro. Some of his touches have been excellent, but he doesn't make the ball stick. Neither does Scamacca. That's a clear push on the back of the Chelsea skipper there. Free kick for the Blues. Again, even start so far. Nothing to separate the two teams. Atalanta have had the best chance so far down that left-hand side. The Albanian centre half, Berat Jimsiti, now on the ball. Finds Cousineau. Go towards centre back. Against Scamacca, looking to link up. Caicedo, brilliant there. Nips in. Here's Enzo Fernandez. Needs another big performance here in the Champions League. Might be a foul there. It's unnecessary really from Ademola Lookman trying to track back. The Argentine takes a bit of contact. Yep, clear foul there by Ademola Lookman on Enzo Fernandez. Free kick taken quickly, flashed across the face of goal. Will be a throw into Atalanta. 10 minutes on the clock. Best opportunity for Rafael Palladino's side. Coming in the early stages here. Will Chelsea face some harsh lessons in the Champions League to begin the campaign? That 3-1 defeat to Bayern Munich was a real eye-opener, wasn't it? Thoroughly outplayed in that match. Reece James wins the header. It's Enzo Fernandez with the snapshot. Well over the crossbar. Chelsea having their first attempt. It is from the Argentine. Marco Carnesecchi just happy to see that sail over the crossbar. Chelsea finally have their first attempt. Just over 10 minutes on the clock. This is the first time that Chelsea are playing Atalanta in the Champions League, if I'm not mistaken. Always has a bit of spice, especially when two teams have not met each other in the past. There is a Chelsea connection, and a couple of players in the Atalanta bench have represented Chelsea before. Davide Zappacosta, of course, the right wing back under the Antonio Conte season, the second season that is. And then, of course, Mario Pasalic, who never really played for Chelsea in the first team, but he was in the books. Here's Chalobah. Has become first choice centre half, hasn't he? He was loaned out to Crystal Palace last season. Ooh, Caicedo was in real trouble there. He gets away with murder again as Achimpong switches it beautifully to Jamie Gittins on the left-hand side. Up against Raul Bellanova. Gittins drives on the byline. Ooh, it's a poor challenge. It is a terrible challenge. But he gets away with that one. Woof, that was very close. Bellanova taking a risk here. He lunges at it. Has he gotten a touch on the ball first here? This angle will be a lot clearer. I think he's caught Gittins, you know. Strevin on the outside. Might just try to shepherd him with his shoulder-to-shoulder challenge, which is pretty much saved the young right back here. Here's Sanchez. Finds Caicedo. Again, Caicedo will be missing one more game at the weekend against Everton. Must-win game for Chelsea. My word, we have made hard work in the league here. We are level on points with Manchester United. Ruben Amorim's Manchester United. That should tell you the whole story about Chelsea's campaign in the league. Neto tries to cushion the ball away to Josh Achimpong. Through in for Atalanta. And Atalanta have settled into this game very nicely here. Not overawed by the situation, not taking their league form into account here, and just playing this game on its merit. Here's Carnesecchi. Finds Bellanova, who's been busy in the early stages here. Floats the ball into the channel. Good play there from Chalobah. Lovely there from Reece James. Finds Cucurella. Caicedo. Chelsea looking to move the ball quickly around the Atalanta midfield. Here's Pedro Neto. Lovely change of pace there. Good ball away. It's cleared. And it's a corner for Chelsea. Said Kolasinac with the clearance as Chelsea have the game's first corner. And Carnesecchi yet to make a challenge or have a big save to make. At that time, Pedro Neto trying to be as direct as possible. Atalanta go to sleep here as Chelsea work it quickly. Joao Pedro's flick on is cleared away. Lookman challenges Reece James. Only one winner there. Strong play there from Reece. He is so powerful, isn't he? If he puts his shoulder on you, very difficult to get him out of the way. Here's Achimpong. Jamie Gittins. Again, a bit passive here, Gittins. He's brought the game to a complete standstill, really. Here's James. Now looking a lot more at home in central midfield here. A lot of the media, a lot of the pundits questioned whether or not Enzo Maresca knew what he was doing, removing a right back as talented as Reece James and shifting him into midfield. But now, it looks like a brilliant decision here. Bellanova, the ball across, cleared away by Trevor Chalobah. Again, Atalanta using their wing-backs very well, getting a lot of joy. Down the flanks, ooh, this is not a good sign here as Bellanova Might have pulled a muscle here after making the run. Oh, he looks absolutely distraught here. This is a real shame for Rafael Palladino and his men here. Raul Bellanova heavily involved in the early stages, both defensively and in attack. Again, looking to just bust his gut. Look at the pace that he has. He leaves Jamie Gittins. And then, having got there, played a decent ball in, but might have just tweaked something as he made that run. Yeah, he looks absolutely distraught here. This is not good news for the youngster. Doesn't look like he'll be okay to continue. Real shame for Atalanta. They might have to make their first change here. I think it's the hamstring. And they will take absolutely no chances. Palladino will have to dip into his subs bench here. Oh, this is a real shame here. Bellanova looks in real pain. Absolutely distraught. Well, Atalanta might be forced into a substitution here. Raul Bellanova is back onto his feet, which is the good news, but he is absolutely heartbroken. Can hardly hide his emotions here, as Atalanta will have to make their first substitution. It's going to be a straight swap here. Davide Zappacosta, formerly of Chelsea colours. It was almost, 8 years ago where he signed for Chelsea. Now having to fill in at the right wing-back spot. Here he is, immediately on the ball. Scamacca chested down brilliantly here. De Ketelaere with the switch. Magnificent play this from Atalanta. And here's Ademola Lookman now. Atalanta look really dangerous. Looks for the shot there. Very curious decision there from Lookman. Here's Kolasinac. Clever pass onto the left-hand side. Achimpong is quickly there. And Chelsea clear. Shake of the head there from Raul Bellanova as he makes his way down the tunnel. His game lasting all about 15 minutes. Real shame, but that's the way the game goes. They've got experience now in the right wing-back spot. Won't have the endeavour and the pace of Raul Bellanova. But Zappacosta has played at the high level, hasn't he? There's Kosunu. Finds Karnasechi. Here's Kolasinac. Finds Jim City now. Lookman's touch is very good here as Bernasconi finds Scamacca. Brilliant football this from Atalanta. They're really popping it around with so much confidence, but Chelsea have the ball back. Cucurella can't bring that under control. Kosunu with that easy interception. Atalanta having a lot of time and space here. Scamacca has made everything stick so far. Brilliant play from the Italian centre forward. De Ketelaere finds the substitute. Zappacosta up against Cucurella. He's not touch tight. Cuts the ball back. Chance! What a save by Sanchez. And on the follow-up, just over by Martin Darun. Chelsea get away with that one. This is not good defending there by Cucurella. Lets the ball in. What a massive save that is of Ademola Lookman. Rob Sanchez has been in some form this season. Oh, it's Achimpong and not Sanchez with an incredible block. Wow, that is brilliant from Josh Achimpong. Chelsea getting opened up on both wings so far. The two chances that Atalanta have had in this match so far, it's because of the wing backs. Chelsea really struggling to make it stick here. Joao Pedro does brilliantly though on the right hand side. Enzo Fernandez. Joao Pedro. Lovely turn, but he's been outnumbered. There's Edison helps out midfield. Again, Atalanta looking too comfortable here. The two big chances that they've created should be enough of a wake-up call for Chelsea here. Caicedo goes lunging in. It's a strange decision, really. And now on the central area is Ademola Lookman. Lovely switch again. Some of the football Atalanta have played has been absolutely magnificent. Skamaka, the glue as the centre forward. They know that they can fire any sort of ball at him with pace in the air, on the ground, and he will make it stick. Such as the elite hold-up play of Gianluca Scamacca as Enzo Fernandez looks for Pedro Neto. Neto has the pace, tries to get it around Kolasinac. It's a brilliant challenge there from the Bosnia and Herzegovina left wing back. Well, he's playing left centre back today. Is his new position. Now with age and experience, Chalobah does well against Gianluca Scamacca. Atalanta in the first 20 minutes have had the better of Chelsea here. And going forward, Chelsea are really struggling, aren't they? Kolasinac might have just gotten clattered there. It's just Pedro Neto's boot that has probably just caught him on the cheek there, but he was on the ground. There's not much he could have done on that occasion. Kolasinac should have been okay. It was right in front of the linesman. Pedro Neto not happy with the decision, but has to move on quickly. And Chelsea pour away from home in the Champions League. Benfica was decent game at home, 1-0. That was Jose Mourinho's return to Stamford Bridge. It was an uncomfortable game, really. It was an own goal that separated the two teams. The Barcelona victory was absolutely necessary. Beating Ajax was comfortable because they were down to 10 men in the first half. That game against Bayern Munich still does haunt Chelsea, and Karabag away was the real surprise, where we did not turn up, underestimated the opponent, and they really did hand it to us. Here's Sanchez. Thought he made an incredible save. It was Josh Achimpong who slid across with that magnificent block. And halfway through the first half, Chelsea very passive here, forcing to go long. Zappacosta defends well. Will be Cucurella. Gets the throw in. And the one question that has been against Enzo Maresca is his utilization of traditional fullbacks in the central areas. We see that with Cucurella, now with Reece James, and of course when Malo Gusto is in the side, we see him taking up those high positions in the right-hand side half space. Some would argue, and rightfully so, that you prefer having attackers in those positions rather than wing-backs, or full-backs even. But Enzo Maresca likes the balance that the full-backs do provide. Yes, Sanchez. Once again, I'd like to thank everyone who's tuned in live to this live stream. It really does mean so much that your support. It's nearly 2 a.m. here in India. I really hope Chelsea put in a performance where we can at least take home all 3 points despite playing poorly in this first half. Well, December, nightmare month for Chelsea in the past, and it seems that the trend just might continue. Liam Delap injured his shoulder in that game against Bournemouth, which means he might miss 6 to 8 weeks. Good channel pass here for Joao Pedro. Team City is very strong there. The Albanian centre half, he'll know that Joao Pedro doesn't have the pace to go away from him, but the trickery will be the biggest challenge for the Albanian centre half. Playing as the centre back with Odilon Kusunu and Said Kolasinac alongside him. Here's Pedro Neto. And where are the Chelsea players demanding the ball? Your Enzo Fernandez finds Reece James. Cut back is brilliant. It's 1-0 to Chelsea. But the offside flag has been raised. Well, Reece James with a tremendous ball into the box. Left-footed drive. Joao Pedro making that striker's run. He is offside here. I think Reece James might be off too. It wasn't Joao Pedro who was offside. I think it was Reece James. Now, whether or not Reece was offside, we'll wait and see whether the player at the far side was playing the captain onside. We're going to have a quick look here with the semi-automated system. This should be resolved very quickly here. But the first real moment of quality comes from the skipper Reece James with a brilliant ball into the box on his weaker left foot. Joao Pedro stealing in towards that front stick. I think this goal might be chalked off here. It would be nice to see a replay. I'd like to make my own decision before VAR meddles in. Having a long check here is Martin de Roon, the skipper. Waiting patiently as both captains now being called up by the official today. Check's been going on for a very long time here. They're going to have a look. And the goal is given! It is 1-0 to Chelsea. Reece James was indeed onside. And we do get the goal. Or do we? Yes, the goal is given. It is Joao Pedro who does score for the Blues after Reece James's brilliant ball across the face of goal. And Chelsea, having been second best at Bergamo, have the lead. That is a very tight call. Oh, that is so close. As I mentioned before, the semi-automated system will clear up any sort of grey area there is involved. And Chelsea do have the lead. We'll absolutely take that first attack and we score from it. Enzo Fernandez had a shot from way out and Joao Pedro has been going through somewhat of a goal drought. Finally scores his first goal in the Champions League. Better late than never, Joao. This is a massive goal considering how poorly Chelsea have played in this first half. But it's Reece James on the left-hand side with that brilliant driven ball into the box. And now Atalanta will have to play. They have to come out and be more expressive. Rafael Palladino will urge his team to keep it at 1-0. If Chelsea get the second, might be game over as Chalobah heads that clear. De Roon finds Ederson. Does Knight there to find Jim City. And from Atalanta's side, we'll be curious to see how they will approach this situation now. Do they look to go for that equalizer before half-time? We know that they are pretty attacking and they've played some very good football to their credit. Reece James finds Chalobah. Now Sanchez. Chelsea could have very easily conceded. And the two chances that Atalanta did create, Sanchez made a excellent save in the first, and Achimpong, the tremendous block. Achimpong couldn't keep that ball in play. It will be a throw-in for Atalanta, who will feel that they've been hit with a sucker punch here. Barcelona are down 1-0 to Eintracht Frankfurt. Lovely play there from Badiashile to nip in forward. Here's Enzo Fernandez. Joao Pedro. Poor touch there from the Brazilian. He was trying to just lay it off to Jamie Gittins. Against Kamaka. Rolls Chalobah easily. That's surely a foul and a yellow card. And it is. The Chelsea centre-back cannot cope with the physicality of Gianluca Scamacca there. Lovely first touch again, and then he turns Chalobah with ease. Trevor Chalobah feeling the need to bring down the Italian centre forward. Again, look at that lovely first touch, man. Here's Zappacosta into the 30th minute. Kosunu and Jim City, now Kolasinac. There's Bernasconi. Asking too much of Ademola Lookman on that occasion. Throw in for Chelsea. Joao Pedro scoring his first goal in the Champions League. There is the semi-automated VAR call. Yep, Reece James is miles onside here. That is a very good finish by Joao Pedro. He's going to have only the one touch. Scott Martin Darun just behind him here as De Ketelaere feeds it forward. Lookman, lovely touch. Gets away. What a good block that is from Achimpong again. Chelsea survive. We're not able to handle the wide play this from Atalanta. Really trying to pull us open here. And the wing backs give them so much width. They're stretching the pitch as much as possible. Here's Charles De Ketelaere. Ball into the box. Achimpong again on the front foot. He's been outstanding defensively. The way that Josh Achimpong is just reading and smelling the danger. Very wise. Well beyond his tender age. Here's Berat Jim City. Hans Kolasinac. A win for Chelsea will take us up to 4th in the Champions League group stages. Badiashile on the stretch. That's a foul there on Charles De Ketelaere. Badiashile has been very aggressive with his positioning in this first half. He's looking to put the pressure on the Belgian. Trying to follow him into deep territories. Making sure that he's touch tight. Here's Zappacosta. And lovely football. Very good football this from Atalanta. The way that they're popping the ball around. So impressive. The accuracy in the passes. The movements, the shapes, the patterns. All fantastic from Rafael Palladino's side. Here's Zappacosta. Again, Cucurella's not touch tight to him. I wonder why Cucurella is just dropping off Davide Zappacosta here. He's allowing the Italian to just fling balls into the box here. Need to be a bit more aggressive with the defensive. Lorenzo Bernasconi. The left wing back will be taking this one in here. Again, the obvious target, of course, is Gianluca Scamacca. Bernasconi delivers. It's a good ball in. It's cleared away. Tarun heads that back. Cucurella clears. Chelsea looking to put pressure on Zappacosta. He does very well to go back to Carnesecchi. It's about 12 and a half minutes plus stoppage time remaining in this first half. Time will be added on because of Raul Bellanova's first half injury. Might have pulled his hamstring there as he made that lung-busting run forward. Here's De Ketelaere. Darun. And Jim City. And inviting the Chelsea press here. Atalanta have shown that they can play through it, but good pressure applied by Josh Achimpong. Ademola Lookman, who's looked Atalanta's most dangerous player alongside Gianluca Scamacca in the first half. Again, real fan of the way that Gianluca Scamacca links the play up. Kosunu finds Zappacosta. Again, Scamacca. Oh, beautiful. How about that for centre forward play? And he threads it brilliantly. It's Lookman, his throw on goal. Ademola Lookman. Oh, magnificent from Achimpong. The offside flag is raised, but Josh Achimpong is playing some magnificent football here, defending of the highest order. Look at that from Scamacca. He sends Chalobah to the shops there. A lovely threaded through pass. Achimpong. He didn't know the offside flag was going to be raised on the cover. Absolutely brilliant. Lenzo Maresca would have identified a clear problem here because Gianluca Scamacca versus Trevor Chalobah, there's only been one winner here so far. And Chalobah on a yellow card cannot be reckless or rash. So whether or not he continues for the second half, we'll wait and see. Again, how do you cope with someone like Gianluca Scamacca? I mean, he's 6'5". His touch is near perfect. And he's got the footballing brain too. So, real complete centre forward. Atalanta have had 6 attempts, 1 on target. Chelsea, with their first shot on target, finding the back of the net there, courtesy of João Pedro's first ever Champions League goal. Long punt forward. Pedro Neto does very well. But he can't get away from Bernasconi. It will be a throw in for Atalanta. 10 minutes plus stoppage time remain in the first half here in Bergamo. Just get the win, Chelsea. Just get the win. Well, the performance will be excused if Chelsea can get 3 points here. Tomorrow, of course, Real Madrid play Manchester City in that blockbuster tie, really. But there's a lot of talk that if Xabi Alonso gets put to the sword against Pep Guardiola's side, it could be his last game in charge for Real Madrid. Yes, it's just speculation, but the way that their league form has dropped off has been very concerning. Losing games that they have no business losing. Badiashile, lovely fist pass there. Oh, Enzo Fernandez, that is terrible. Chelsea in trouble here as Ederson feeds the ball to Lookman on the left-hand side. Achimpong trying to match him step for step here. Ederson again. Shifts the ball to Zappacosta down the right-hand side, but he's clearly offside. Better there from Chelsea in terms of covering the spaces, but they are progressing through the midfield quite comfortably here. Enzo Fernandez has been nowhere near the levels again. Really is concerning, isn't it? Because he's capable of playing such high quality football. And we've asked Enzo Fernandez to start off his Chelsea career as a deep lying midfielder, which he did very well. Then played in a pivot, now playing in a number 10. So we're almost asking Enzo Fernandez to excel in every role. Yes, he's got the quality. Yes, he's got the experience. Now, he's not a youngster anymore because of the number of games that he's racked up for the Blues. It's almost like we need to just find one position and just stick to it for him and just make him play that and that only. Yes, Enzo Maresca likes the tactical flexibility that Enzo Fernandez does give his team. But once we have Cole Palmer back, which he is, but he dropped an absolute shocker against Bournemouth at the weekend. That's why he doesn't travel to Italy here today, focusing on his fitness as we have that big game against Everton at the weekend. When Cole Palmer comes back into the side, it's a selection headache really for Enzo Maresca. And Sanchez wants passing options, decides to take the composed option and go back to Trevor Chalobah, who's had a tough first half against Gianluca Scamacca. Good ball forward. Zappacosta having to run the race here with Gittins. Oh, the keeper just about gets rid of the danger and should be a comfortable pouch for him. Marco Carnesecchi just almost a rush of blood to the head here, nearly colliding with Davide Zappacosta. Again, he's in no man's land, and if Jamie Gittins pinches the ball there, could have been 2-0. Kosunu takes a real risk there. Chelsea win the ball high up the pitch. It's Marc Cucurella, Enzo Fernandez, Reece James. Thought about the shot. Turns away from trouble to find Moises Caicedo. Feeds it onto the right-hand side to Pedro Neto. Can Chelsea add the second before half-time? Here's Neto. Achimpong to Caicedo. Better spell of possession in the Atalanta half here. Chalobah. Reece James. Again, Chelsea's physicality and conditioning in the second half should be a lot for Atalanta to try and handle here. Again, that is a poor pass there by Benoit Badiashile as Carnesecchi comfortably gathers Ederson. Finds Charles de Ketelaere. Enzo Fernandez on the slide there. Trying to match Ederson step by step. The Argentine, to his credit, wasn't going to give that up here. Well, Inter versus Liverpool at San Siro is 0-0 into the 40th minute. Arne Slot's men have not just found it difficult to stack up wins in the Premier League, and now they have an off-the-field issue in Mo Salah, which has really blown up for the defending Premier League champions. But just before going for the African Cup of Nations duty, Mo Salah dropped that bombshell interview after the Leeds game, where he said he was thrown under the bus by the manager. Those are strong words. I can understand Salah's position there, but he has been way below par in this first 15 to 20 games in the season. Considering that all-timer campaign that he had last season, expecting him to do that again is a bit foolish, but considering the investment Liverpool made with Isaac Ekitike, Florian Wirtz, it seems that Mo Salah has gotten the most amount of stick. But some would have questioned that, did he have to do that in public? Could he have resolved it beyond closed doors? But that's what players with big egos and big stature at the club feel, that they aren't just any other player, if you know what I mean. Everybody says that nobody's bigger than the club, and absolutely right, but there are some players where you have to kind of make exceptions, really, in terms of how you treat them, the communication that you have. Especially with Salah, man. The 8 years that he's had for Liverpool, goals that he's scored is absolutely ridiculous. Kanaseki takes a hectic touch there. In Chelsea looking to apply the pressure. Lookman is such a clever player in those pockets. Very good there from Caicedo. Surely a handball. It's going to be a yellow card if that's a handball. He might get away with it side Kolasinac. Again, Caicedo nips in brilliantly here. Yep, that's a clear handball there. The Bosnian centre-half. Free kick for Chelsea on that right-hand side. Good ball into the box will really make things interesting just before the half-time whistle. Chelsea have managed to keep a clean sheet somehow in this first half here in Bergamo, but job's still not done. 3 minutes plus stoppage time remain in the first half. Chelsea leading courtesy of that João Pedro goal, which was initially ruled out for offside, but after the VAR check, showed that Reece James was miles on. James delivers. Good header away. Chelsea still have possession. Here's Gittins. Again, Gittins' first half has been very disappointing, isn't it? He's competing for a spot against Alejandro Garnacho down that left-hand side. We all know that Jamie Gittins has got all the tools that you need to succeed in the Premier League as a winger. He's young. We need to have patience with him. We say that with every player Chelsea buy because of their age and profile. Here's Zappacosta. Kosunu. Well, Rafael Palladino must be wondering how their team is down 1-0. Brilliant from Achimpong again, but Atalanta work it well. Scamacca with a magnificent switch. He is balling out here. Here's Zappacosta. He's been the best striker on the pitch by a countryman. I would argue just the best player on the pitch here today. Here's De Ketelaere. Good there from Cucurella. James. Far too casual there from the captain. Here's Edison. Feeds it onto the left-hand side. Bernasconi. Lookman might be offside here. Yep, he's clearly offside. Nigerian just a bit too eager there. Try and break the lines to receive the pass. Yep, clearly offside. Good line held there by the Chelsea centre-halves. Enzo Maresca. Happy with the line there. Maintained by the three centre-halves. A clean sheet. It's absolutely necessary here. Minute plus stoppage time remain here. The New Balance Arena in Bergamo. Lookman. Again, very aggressive positioning from the wide centre-backs for Chelsea. We've seen Badia Shield being touch tight with Charles De Ketelaere, and now you can see Achimpong matching step by step. Ademola Lookman, brilliant there from Reece James and Badia Shield. And Chelsea's ball movement can be a bit more swifter. I think it's all about game management now because half-time whistle is very close. Sanchez. Finds Chalobah. On the right-hand side is Achimpong, who's had a flawless first half. Pedro Neto finds Joao Pedro. Keeps the ball very well here. Enzo Fernandez. Critical that he keeps the ball, which he does. Moises Caicedo finds Achimpong. We're into stoppage time, and it's 3 minutes of added on time here in the first half. Chelsea lead 1-0 courtesy of the Joao Pedro goal. As Pedro Neto now bursts forward. He's on the left-hand side this time. Finds Marc Cucurella. Decent cutback. It's cleared away. Good defending. It's a corner for Chelsea. It's Kolasinac who just made his way across. Again, good interchange there from Pedro Neto and Marc Cucurella. Going for that. It would have been a magnificent 1-2 really. Good identification there from Marc Cucurella. Seeing the run almost behind his back of his head there. James. Chelsea play the corner shot. Lovely turn there by Pedro Neto. Plays the 1-2 with Cucurella again. Neto's ball into the box. It's cleared away. Again, the combinations now just starting to work for Chelsea in the forward areas as Scamacca having to defend that situation. 2 minutes of stoppage time remain in the first half. Chelsea looking to add the dagger just before the half-time whistle. Here's Reece James. Finds Caicedo. Achimpong, who's been Chelsea's standout player in my books in this first half. Here's the youngster again. 2 out of 3 centre-backs coming from the Chelsea Academy in Trevor Chalobah and Josh Achimpong, and of course the club captain Reece James. Chelsea inviting the Atalanta press here. Sanchez will be forced to go long. Does hammer that in the air as Joao Pedro's knocked on is brilliant. Enzo Fernandez is through on goal. He doesn't have the pace. And he's crowded out there. Kolasinac on the cover. Should be able to clear that away. Brilliant knockdown once again. Enzo Fernandez making that run from the number 10 position brilliantly. There's Gittins. Can't find Cucurella. Here's De Ketelaere. Edison in his own box here, forced to go. Oh, brilliant there from Scamacca again. My goodness me, this guy is such a brilliant player, isn't he? Excellent interception there by Cucurella, but Gianluca Scamacca has just been first class in this match. Everything is stuck to him. Everything is an accurate pass to his teammate, back to goal. What a special player, man. Here he is again. It's James who might be making the foul there, but play continues. Here's Edison. Nobody's closing him down here. Enzo Fernandez is finally there. Caicedo nips in brilliantly. Superb from the Ecuadorian. And that will be that for the first half here at the New Balance Arena in Bergamo. Chelsea, having not played the best football in the first half, somehow escaped the halftime whistle with a 1-0 lead. It was Joao Pedro's goal, his first in the Champions League, giving us the lead at halftime. It's halftime. It's Atalanta 0, Chelsea 1. Well, that was not the most pleasant of watches in the first half, but Chelsea doing just about enough. But the first 2 big chances fell to Atalanta after some brilliant play out of the wings. Chelsea could not cope with Atalanta's lovely touch movements, and the patterns they were implementing on the pitch were really special to watch. I thought the best player on the pitch is from the losing side so far. Gianluca Scamacca has just shown elite centre-forward play, but his teammates have not been able to pull a goal here. But the likes of Ademola Lookman and Charles De Ketelaere are constant threats for Chelsea. De Roon and Edison are combating the likes of Moises Caicedo and Reece James very well in midfield, but it's the wing-backs that are causing Chelsea a lot of problems. Lorenzo Bernasconi, and early on we saw Raul Bellanova busting his gut to get forward, but he pulled his hamstring, which means now Davide Zappacosta is there, but Zappacosta's first involvement was a flashed ball across the face of goal, which was absolutely brilliantly blocked by Josh Achampong, who's been Chelsea's best player in the first half. Well, 1-0 is pretty much the best case scenario considering how we played in that first half. I mean, again, Jamie Gittins, you don't like to single players out, right? Because especially young players, but when you're getting these opportunities, if you try and you fail, it's absolutely fine. You know what I mean? Because you've made that attempt to at least try. But with Gittins, it just feels he's so passive, and his unwillingness to go at opposition wingbacks is such a strange decision, because if he takes on the wingback a couple of times, he might lose the ball high up the pitch. That is fine in my books. Don't lose it in our own half. But when you're up against the wingback, you've isolated him, you're 1v1, and then you just turn around and just pass the ball back. It just shows you that he's almost afraid to play. And you cannot have that, because you compare that to Garnacho. Now, some would argue that Gittins has a more assured touch, a better shot, and everything else over Garnacho. Hypothetically, but Garnacho is relentless in terms of how he looks to attack. Yes, he's played a lot of games in the Premier League, and we have to understand that gulf in experience, that even though Garnacho is young, he's played nearly 100 games in the Premier League, or combined, considering Manchester United and Chelsea so far. 100 games at the top level is very impressive at his young age. So you can understand why he has the confidence and someone like Jamie Gittins doesn't. But that is something that Enzo Maresca will not be happy. Our wing play has been really poor. Pedro Neto, again, effort, no quality. Jamie Gittins, no effort, no quality. That can't continue. We have Garnacho and Estevao on the bench, two obvious replacements, but can we do better? We certainly can. And that's the news that Enzo Maresca will be relaying here. Only Trevor Chalobah picked up that yellow card in the first half. He found it very difficult to cope against that battering ram of a centre forward who has a touch of an angel in Gianluca Scamacca. And in terms of substitutions, I think Gittins will get another 10 minutes, and which might be fair considering we're 1-0 up, but he has to take more responsibility in that forward areas. Just drive at Zappacosta, or just look to take on the right side at centre half, Kosuno. Just have a go. Like I said, if you lose possession and you're not able to do it, then we'll try and find solutions. But if you don't take on the fullback or the wing back, then where do we go from there? It becomes very difficult. And that midfield, you see Caicedo maybe a slightly rusty. Enzo Fernandez, again, full of endeavour. The quality has been lacking. Reece James has looked good. His assist was absolute quality for João Pedro. João Pedro started the game very well, some excellent touches, and the way he was trying to just get away from Bera Jim City, the Albanian centre half, was very good. But we need to see a bit more. We need to see him take shots, man, because He does a lot of excellent approach play work, but we need some of that final product. That goal should give him a lot of confidence where he can just go out there and look to take a few more shots on. Centre backs, Badiashile largely untroubled. Achimpong absolutely brilliant. Josh Achimpong his stocks are rising, and as I mentioned during the game that Enzo Maresca said after the Leeds match where he had absolutely nothing to take away from in terms of a positive, said that his only regret was not starting Josh Achimpong. Now we need to see that kind of faith off the pitch now being translated to on the pitch. Yes, Wesley Fofana, when fit and healthy, is going to be the starting centre back at the right hand side. Now Trevor Chalobah, again, he's got the experience over Josh Achimpong, but I think Achimpong is just a level over Chalobah. Even though Trevor Chalobah, over the last few months, is just starting to gain some of the confidence back. But now we need to see Achimpong get regular minutes. Again, easier said than done, considering the options available at the disposal of Enzo Maresca, who as it stands finds his team in 4th in the Champions League. Match week 6 on its way here. We've got another 45 minutes coming up. Just get the win, Chelsea. Just get the win. I think there's about 5 minutes of added on time remaining before the start of the second half. Well, a big 45 minutes coming up here at Bergamo. Chelsea do need another goal, that's for sure. We cannot let this game remain at 1-0 for as long as possible here, because we know that Atalanta will be coming out with renewed sense of optimism and endeavour. They will look to put the pressure on Chelsea, that's for sure. And the coach Palladino will know that his team have been slightly unlucky in few of those situations and moments. But now it's an opportunity for them to try and put the pressure on the Blues here. The players are out for the start of the second half. Chelsea, in terms of the football, leaves a lot to be desired, but we do have the goal. And this is a good decision now. It looks like Wesley Fofana will be coming on here. I think he might be replacing Trevor Chalobah, and it is. It's a very good decision by Enzo Maresca, which means that Josh Achimpong now will be the centre back. Wesley Fofana on the right-hand side. And of course, Badiashile continues on the left-hand side. Achimpong will have to really grow up leaps and bounds here up against Kamaka, who's been the best player on the pitch for me here. But it's a real test for him. Again, the best player for Chelsea up against the best player for Atalanta, as we are off and running for the start of the second half here in Bergamo. Chelsea having that 25th minute lead courtesy of João Pedro's goal. Now is an opportunity to try and get another goal to secure 3 points, which will get us temporarily into the top 4 of the Champions League group stages. Considering how poor our campaign did start off with, be a very good recovery here, especially with a tricky away fixture against Atalanta. Here's Rob Sanchez. Had to make that excellent save of Ademola Lookman in the early stages. With Wesley Fofana's fitness now, it's critical that Chelsea do maintain, and that's why you see Enzo Maresca managing his minutes. Not looking to throw him into the deep end. Trying to protect him as much as possible. Caicedo loses out here, but he does very well. Where's this Caicedo? Again, just been a bit rusty here today. Caicedo won't be fit against, or eligible rather, against Everton at the weekend. João Pedro, lovely touch, but it gets away. Ooh, there's a slip there from Kosuno. Somehow manages to get that clear. Here's Charles de Ketelaere. Lovely turn there from the Belgian. Protects the ball nicely. And Atalanta in a familiar situation here where they've had more of the attempts in terms of possession. Been very little to separate the two teams really. Edison. Seems that Achimpong is continuing to remain on the right-hand side, which means that Wesley Fofana will be playing centre-back by the looks of it. We'll wait and see as Lookman on the left-hand side, up against Caicedo. Lovely bit of skill. Achimpong, tremendous. Look at that clean tackle there, beautifully done. Really does play with so much composure. Ooh, that's risky there from Carnesecchi. Does very well in the end, finds Jim City now. There's a centre-back, no pressure on the ball whatsoever. Lookman on the left-hand side. Finds Kolasinac. Jim City again, forced to go to his Cote d'Ivoire centre-half partner, Kusunu. Zappacosta, who came on in the first half for Raul Bellanova, has made an impact in the game as Carnesecchi finds Bernasconi. Ooh, Enzo Fernandez might have fouled the player here. Play will continue by the looks of it. If the referee's not given a foul, why does he pull it back? That makes no sense whatsoever. It's not a head injury as well. It's a clear foul there by Enzo Fernandez. It's right in front of the official and he doesn't call the foul. This is Martin Deroon just fouls Enzo Fernandez there, and be a free kick for Chelsea. Caicedo with the free kick, looking to pop the shot. Finds Achimpong, who is playing as the right-sided centre-half. Continues his position there. And it's Wesley Fofana who will be using his aggression and his pace against Gianluca Scamacca. Give Trevor Chalobah torrid time in the first half. Chalobah picked up a yellow card. Wise decision there by Enzo Maresca, knowing that Chelsea have had a ridiculous amount of red cards in this campaign already. Reece James, brilliant, so powerful and nimble. Lovely agile turn from the skipper. Here's Badiashile. Finds Sanchez. Again, Chelsea will need that second goal as quickly as possible in the second half. We need the cushion. This game has been far from comfortable. Do not let the scoreline fool you. Enzo Fernandez has been put under relentless pressure there. There's one player that I thought might be coming off in the first half, which was Jamie Gittins, but still having some of the trust there from Maresca. That's a brilliant turn from Gittins. What a pass this is to Enzo Fernandez. Can he go for the shot? Oh, he can't control the ball. As Cousino on the cover does brilliantly, had to release this pass quicker onto that left-hand side. Here's Lookman now. Achimpong tries to nip that forward. Lookman with a good turn away from Caicedo. Brilliant from Caicedo. That is certainly not a foul. Feeds it to Pedro Neto on the right-hand side here. He's looking to isolate the player. Brilliant there from Pedro Neto. Breezes past him. Oh, he could have gone for the clip pass. Instead, he checks back, and now the ball into the box. Enzo Fernandez, brilliant bit of control there. Jamie Gittins, Enzo Fernandez, Reece James with the strike, and it's Reece again! Oh, it's just wide. That is so close. Carnesecchi was rooted to the spot. Did not move a muscle there. Oh, that is so close. That should have been 2-0. He drags his shot wide, and Atalanta get away with that one. Brilliant ball striking there from Reece. That should have been the second goal. But it all started with an excellent bit of play by Jamie Gittins on the left-hand side. That's the kind of confidence we need to see from the young English winger. Lookman tries to get away from Caicedo. Lovely from Caicedo. But Caicedo's tackling has been brilliant. Some of his touches has been iffy, as I mentioned before. Rusty, not played the last couple of games. Very rare under Enzo Maresca, who's used Moises Caicedo like a bar of soap since becoming the head coach of Chelsea. No Romeo Lavia. No Dario Esugo. Andre Santos is on the bench. Decent head back here. Edison, chance. Oh, brilliant block. Is that Fofana? It is. Brilliant bit of skill. Is surely 1-1. Atalanta do have the equalizer, but it's ruled out for offside. They do have the ball in the back of the net, but Ademola Lookman does not really dispute the claim. Chelsea get away with it again. Yep, he's clearly offside. Offside by a mile. Chelsea need to wake up here. Game is on a knife edge, so need that second goal, and that Reece James's effort could have made things a lot more comfortable for the Blues. In all white today. Here's Achimpong. Surely a foul there on Enzo Fernandez, and it is. Enzo Fernandez being a bit more influential for Chelsea. Yep, clear foul there by Kolasinac. Again, look at how far up the pitch side Kolasinac is. Ademola Lookman in the first half had an effort which was saved by Sanchez. Now has the ball in the back of the net in the second half. Enough of a warning sign here. That is so poor there from Pedro Neto. Somehow finds Cucurella. James to Gittins on the left-hand side. Jamie Gittins. Jamie Gittins is beaten away by Carnesecchi. Very good save there from the Italian. And now Atalanta on the counter-attack here. Here's Lookman on the left-hand side. Finds Edison. Good play here as Martin de Roon. Now has the ball. Finds Charles de Ketelaere. To the right-hand side is Davide Zappacosta. Here's De Ketelaere. Left-footed clip pass. It's very clever. Lookman, what a bit of heading that is from Wesley Fofana. He was looking for Scamacca in the box. Again, Atalanta with a couple of passes open up Chelsea. Very uncomfortable here in the second half. You know that Atalanta have the goods. They have the quality. All they need to do is stitch up an attack here. That's why that second goal is so crucial for the Blues. And that's why Enzo Maresca cannot let this game drift here. Again, good strength there from Lookman. Finds Kolasinac. Again, Kolasinac so far up the pitch here. Changing tactic clearly from Palladino. Charles De Ketelaere goes on the outside of Gittins very easily. And Cucurella cross comes in. Scamacca! 1-1 to Atalanta. And it was coming. The best player on the pitch in the first half scores 10 minutes into the second half. And Atalanta are level. But we said that Atalanta just needed a bit of quality in the Chelsea box. And that exactly does arrive. Again, Cucurella's defending is so poor. He has dropped off the cliff here in the last 3 games. He allows the cross into the box. Scamacca is onside. He is never going to miss that. Brilliant ball into the box. And it's a powerful header by Gianluca Scamacca. Atalanta level, and they absolutely deserve it. It was coming. It was absolutely coming. But we got the warning sign early on with Lookman putting the ball in the back of the net. He was adjudged offside. This time, nothing is going to rule out that goal. As straightforward as it comes. And Atalanta do have a deserved equalizer. We saw João Pedro score his first Champions League goal of the campaign. And now Gianluca Scamacca follows suit. What are you doing, Sanchez? That is criminal. He has so much time on the ball and he makes that pass. Chelsea do somehow get the ball away here. Enzo Fernandez is on the stretch. He loses out here. Atalanta looks so much sharper here. Edison finds Adamello Lookman on the left-hand side. He's got the runner on the left-hand side. Brilliant cross into the box. And it's Sanchez with good bit of handling there of the Bernasconi cross. Well, that Reece James's chance coming to haunt us soon after. Just knew that if Reece James buries that, the complexion of the game completely changes. But Reece James missed, Scamacca didn't, and it's all level. Sanchez's distribution is absolutely criminal here. What is he doing? Chelsea away from home have been shocking, man. I mean, it seems that December is just going to continue this way unless something changes. Enzo Maresca might need to make a few tactical tweaks here because this can't continue. Again, very passive in the second half. The chance that fell to Reece James was very fortuitous considering his first shot was blocked. The second one fell right to him, edge of the box, no one near him. Other than that, Chelsea again shocking in the final third. Brilliant again from Atalanta. It's Edison, cut back. Scamacca and Gittins does very well. Here's Cousineau. Drives forward. Oh my word. It's so easy there. Breezes past Gittins. They keep the ball alive. Lovely change of direction here from De Ketelaere. Cucurella is having an absolute nightmare on the pitch. He's been taken to the cleaners here. That is the poorest I've seen Marc Cucurella play for the Blues in a very long time. He's getting ripped apart here. Good play there from Caicedo. Scamacca gets away from Fofana. Scamacca with the strike. Fofana is there. And thankfully for Wesley Fofana, he takes an aggressive approach to close down Gianluca Scamacca. Chelsea have not learned their lesson. Nearly 15 minutes into the second half. Similar patterns to what we saw in the first. And this is where it gets a bit concerning that Enzo Maresca is not being proactive enough, though. It's Pedro Neto's in the box. Cut back, chance, cleared away by Cousineau. Corner for Chelsea. João Pedro is just waiting for a tap in. And Pedro Neto on a couple of occasions has shown real pace to get into the box. Excellent defending there by the Cote d'Ivoire centre half. Adlon Cousineau. Corner for Chelsea into the 60th minute. Enzo Maresca cannot let this game drift. Said this at the halftime whistle. Very lucky there was 1-0, but cannot take games for granted, especially in the Champions League. Pedro Neto delivers. Decent ball in. It's easily gathered by Carnesecchi. Italian goalkeeper having a pretty comfortable night. I mean, all he had to do is pick up the ball from the back of the net from that João Pedro goal. But other than that, we have not tested the Italian keeper here. Edison finds Charles de Ketelaere on the left-hand side this time. Trying to combine with Ademola Lookman. Lovely play there from the Belgian. Finds Edison. De Ketelaere. That's a foul there by Moises Caicedo. What are you doing, Moy? Why would you foul there in that manner? You're nowhere near the ball. And he makes that tackle. That's terrible from Caicedo. His reaction is really poor too, because that's a clear foul. That's the highlight for the goal. I mean, Marc Cucurella gets done so easily there. Extremely poor from Chelsea. Atalanta absolutely deserve it, and things could go from good to great if Atalanta can try and capitalize with this set piece opportunity. It's a free kick about 25 yards away from goal. 30 minutes remain here. It's what has been a tough away tie for Chelsea. Nightmare December continues here. It looks like it's going to be another case of drop points if Chelsea do not pick their game up here. Scamacca is lining this one up here on his right foot. It's Scamacca, takes a deflection, corner for Atalanta. Now Scamacca full of confidence, and why not, considering that the game he's had. Corner for Atalanta again. Where are the substitutions? Enzo Maresca. Lookman plays it short. Gets it back. There's Ademola Lookman. Keeps it short for Bernasconi. Header. Oh, what a save by Sanchez. Brilliant, strong wrists from Rob Sanchez. The flick-on header from Scamacca was so clever. Atalanta have had 9 attempts at the Chelsea goal. 2 of them on target, but they're coming closer and closer. Make no mistake about it. Here's Lookman on the left-hand side, up against Achimpong. Lookman creates a bit of separation. Lovely feed. Cross comes into the box again. It's a brilliant header by Badiashile. Chelsea under the pump here. We cannot get out. The attacking play has been shocking. Enzo Maresca cannot look at this and continue here. Has to make some substitutions. It has been absolutely shocking. Well, Chelsea had too good of a November from my end, because we knew that the dip was coming. And it has come in sensational fashion, really. Here's Pedro Neto. Enzo Fernandez. Decent ball, but Edison covers the ground very nicely. And some of the performances from the Chelsea players have been way beyond par. Way below par, rather. Enzo Fernandez, Marc Cucurella, Moises Caicedo. Just nowhere near their levels. João Pedro has been a passenger most pages of the game. Pedro Neto once again. Endeavour, yes. Quality is really lacking. And look at the way that Atalanta are just popping the ball around with so much confidence. Chelsea's press is helter-skelter. Badiashile heads. Easy recovery here for Atalanta. Again, I don't see this changing here. I do not see it changing. Achimpong is there quickly at the scene. Tries to find Pedro Neto, but Said Kolasinac easily defends. And Carnesecchi decides a safety-first approach. Again, Scamacca. Just great anticipation there. Maresca is readying a double substitution here. Seems that Garnacho and Malo Gusto will be coming on the right hand side now. Here's the skipper, Martin de Roon. Finds Cossonu. And Atalanta with sustained possession in the Chelsea half here. Looking very comfortable, popping the ball around comfortably here. There's Kolasinac, heavy touch, gets away from Enzo Fernandez. Good turn there from Enzo. Decent pass to Jamie Gittins on the left hand side. This is where we need Jamie Gittins to show what he's all about, and he gets muscled off the ball. Well, his number is coming up, that's for sure, with Garnacho waiting in the wings. Another display by Jamie Gittins just leaves so much wanting. Surprised who Malo Gusto comes on for. Chelsea having a bit of possession, but again, it's just uncomfortable possession more than anything else. Here's Fofana, who replaced Trevor Chalobah at the halftime break. Achimpong, lovely carry here from the centre half. Great bit of strength to hold off the challenge of Lookman. Reece James finds Caicedo, better from Chelsea. Here's Benoit Badiashile, finds Moises Caicedo. Enzo Fernandez, terrible, what are you doing, Enzo? My goodness me. The fact that he's taken zero care of the ball is unacceptable, man. And performance is like this, you want him to see hooked, man. That's why we have someone like Andre Santos on the bench. Enzo Maresca needs to make some big calls here. Yes, it's easy taking off Jamie Gittins and Trevor Chalobah, Josh Achimpong, very easy. But can you make the big calls? Can you take off the likes of Enzo Fernandez, bring on Andre Santos? Just give us a bit of control in that midfield area. It's been shocking. Well, Malo Gusto and Garnacho have been waiting for a good 5 minutes here. And Fernandez is coming off, thankfully. It's not for the player that I was hoping for. It's Malo Gusto who will be coming off. Gittins stays on the pitch here. Very surprising. It's very brave from Enzo Maresca. Enzo Fernandez rightfully hooked. Terrible game from Enzo Fernandez. Pedro Neto off as well, which means that Malo Gusto will be on the right hand side. And Alejandro Garnacho on the left. Very interested to see Jamie Gittins' first time on the right hand side by the looks of it. Who's going to be playing in that number 10 position for us now? Looks like it is Malo Gusto. That is a very strange call from Enzo Maresca, really. Yep, it's Gittins on the right. Malo Gusto is the number 10. I mean, I'm not convinced by these changes here. He's decided to play two players out of their favoured positions. Gittins is very lucky to be on the pitch. On the right hand side, he might be a bit different. We'll wait and see. It's almost like he wants to bring on Estevao at some point, which means that Gittins will be the man who makes his way. Badiashile is strong and he's composed. Gusto. Again, our midfield is Moises Caicedo, Reece James and Malo Gusto. Less said the better. And I want to see the shape here from Chelsea. This makes no sense from Enzo Maresca. Someone like Andre Santos is on the bench. Bring him on. He's a midfielder. He can play in the number 6, number 8 and even number 10 role, where he has scored goals for Strasbourg last season. Very strange from Enzo Maresca. And he's finding he has to coach his way out of the troublesome situation we find ourselves in December. It all started last season, didn't it? It was that loss against Fulham at Stamford Bridge. Rodrigo Muniz scored in the stoppage time, and from there Chelsea's form just fell off a cliff. Seems that history is repeating itself. just a month earlier by the looks of it. Here's Badia Shield. Finds Rob Sanchez, whose distribution has been questionable. And a long ball forward, asking so much of João Pedro. Chelsea have played zero football today, man. It's very disappointing. Is it a change of shape? Is it something that Enzo Maresca needs to do here? Because if he continue playing the same way, it seems that teams have figured it out. They are outplaying us, not just getting results, but Bournemouth at the weekend should have beaten us. Make no mistake about it. It was only because of Rob Sanchez's heroics that it stayed at 0-0. Leeds thoroughly deserved to beat us. And Atalanta have been the better team. Away from home, Chelsea against three teams where we expect 9 points. 6 in the league and 3 in the Champions League. Turns out, might end up with just 2 points. Here's Badia Shield. João Pedro's been cleared away. Again, look at the difference between João Pedro and Scamacca. What a touch, even though he was fouled on the right-hand side. Atalanta with a chance here. Ball into the box. Scamacca isn't there. Well, Gianluca Scamacca continues to just dazzle on the pitch. He had no right to find that accurate pass when he was wiped clear with that foul. So surely a yellow card, which will be brandished later on, that's for sure. Wesley Fofana has gone lunging in. It seems that Wesley Fofana, who went lunging in, has come out second best. There's maybe, ooh, that stud has just caught him on the eye there. Scamacca, who went to ground. Bit of a heavy, very uncomfortable there for Wesley Fofana, whose eyesight might be compromised here. Double substitution here for Atalanta. It's their 2 centre halves that have come off. Kolasinac has been withdrawn for Ahnor. I think even Odilon Kosono has come off here. Nope. Kosono remains and Ahnor has taken Kolasinac's spot. Reece James, very much concerned about the safety of his centre-half partner. It seems that Gianluca Scamacca is coming off here, and it's a real relief for Chelsea as Nikola Kristovic takes his spot. Scamacca has just given us a torrid time in the 70 minutes he has been on the pitch. Wesley Fofana making sure that his vision isn't compromised. After taking a boot to the face there, it might have caught him in the eye. Really dangerous. But it was Fofana who initiated the challenge and fouled Scamacca. Can't have too many complaints about it, but fellow Palladino's side has really outplayed Chelsea here at Bergamo. Enzo Maresca will know his team have been very lucky that the scoreline is just 1-1 here. Could have been a whole lot worse. Start of the second half, Chelsea did have that chance with Reece James. Fell to him very kindly, edge of the box. Rifled that with Carnesecchi, rooted to his spot. But just off target. That was the let-off Atalanta needed. And from there, they have just been faultless. Gianluca Scamacca scoring after Charles de Ketelaere. Once again sent Marc Cucurella to the shops there with that beautiful cross into the box for their 6'5" centre forward to bury the header past Rob Sanchez. Malo Gusto asking a lot from João Pedro. Does brilliantly there. João Pedro gets away from the substitute Ahnor. João Pedro's ball into the box, into no man's land really. Reece James is there. Oh, it's a foul, and it's a foul. Yep. Against Reece James. Charles de Ketelaere is not happy with the skipper here. He wants to get into a scrap here. Reece James not impressed with the Belgians' reaction there, but Rees cannot have too many complaints there, as that was a clear foul. Rees pleading his innocence. Referee trying to take control of the game here. We're heading into the final 15 minutes, and I don't think Chelsea have done enough to warrant a win here. If we do, it would be a smash and grab. Well, both Barcelona and Atletico Madrid have overturned their deficits. Atletico Madrid 3-1 up, Barcelona 2-1 up against Eintracht Frankfurt. João Pedro finds Marc Cucurella. It's Garnacho's first involvement. He's into the box here. Alejandro Garnacho! It's straight at Carnesecchi. Garnacho creates enough separation away from Cosunu. It was straight down the barrel of Carnesecchi. Comfortable save for the Italian goalkeeper. This is not good here for Chelsea. I think Wesley Fofana is struggling with his vision here. Yep, he's not... I think they're going to have to withdraw him. Wesley Fofana came on in the 45th minute. Went to ground and saw a boot of Gianluca Scamacca come into his eye there, and it is a real painful one for Wesley Fofana, who will not be able to continue. That is a real painful one for Fofana. Fair play to him to try and carry on, but Chelsea now might be forced to make another defensive substitution here. And it's Tosin Adarabioyo who is coming on. Tosin took so much stick after his, rightfully so, to that horrid performance against Leeds United. Has about 15 minutes to try and at least keep the sheet clean here. It's already been dirtied with that Gianluca Scamacca goal, which means that Tosin now will play as the centre back, replacing Wesley Fofana. Unfortunate end here to the game here for Fofana. It's not one of his limbs that has suffered, it's his compromised vision. Well, Chelsea have made 4 substitutions. 3 of them have had to be defensive ones, really. Again, Malo Gusto in that number 10 position really makes me uncomfortable. Cannot understand the thinking there from Enzo Maresca, really. Here's Gusto. Finds Reece James. Caicedo. Oh, leaves it short. Tosin. First pass is an errant one. Josh Acheampong, who has just been Chelsea's shining light, really. On the right-hand side, here's Jamie Gittins. That's a terrible touch. Arnor gets across. Easily clears. Gittins seems that he will stay on for the rest of the match here. No Esteban Willian is a curious decision by Enzo Maresca. Malo Gusto with a back heel touch. Just lift that over Arnor. Caicedo. Reece James. Immediately finds Garnacho. He's had a shot in the match already. Garnacho going to combine with Reece James. The 1-2 nearly pays off, but Zappacosta defends very well. Throw in for Chelsea. Heading into the business end of the match here. This would be a smash and grab from Chelsea if we can escape Bergamo with all 3 points. We do not deserve it, but we will take it. And Chelsea's form away from home absolutely wretched in December. Got Everton at the weekend. That is not going to be an easy game. I think we just separated by a point. And if Everton pull off what they are truly capable of doing with the likes of Iliman Ndiaye, Jack Grealish and Kieran Dewsbury Hall, wouldn't be a shock, really, considering how poor Chelsea have been to end the year. Cosunu concedes the corner. Chelsea again take it quickly. Here's Malo Gusto. Reece James finds Alejandro Garnacho. Here's James again. Forced to go back to Gusto. And he's forced to go all the way back to Sanchez. Wasted, really. Again, why don't we take advantage of the set pieces here? Lovely ball there by Sanchez to Garnacho. But he is offside. And Chelsea has scored a lot of goals from set pieces and corners in the Premier League. Why do we insist of playing it short throughout this match here? And some of the decision making from the Chelsea players have been really poor. The quality has been an eyesore at times. Kristovic, his first involvement is getting a throw in here. Into the 80th minute. Since Chelsea have been pegged back, we have not troubled Carnasecchi really. It's just that Alejandro Garnacho shot, which is straight at the Italian goalkeeper. Oh, that's a terrible foul there by Caicedo. Caicedo's very lucky that he hasn't picked up a yellow card in this match. Some of the fouls that he has conceded has been really poor. It's a kick on the chest there for Martin de Roon. And Caicedo had eyes for the ball there, but you cannot have your boots so far up. Atalanta will feel they're absolutely within their rights to go for the 3 points here. There was nothing to separate the two teams before kickoff in terms of points. Seems that after match week 6, that will remain the same case here. Again, Moises Caicedo just eased out of the way there from Edison. Caicedo's had a real shocker in midfield, hasn't he? Gusto finds João Pedro, gets it back to Gusto. Here's Reece James. Again, our right backs of previous seasons finding themselves in central positions. Here's Garnacho. Tries to go around the outside. Garnacho loses out poorly there. Zappacosta has had a very comfortable game at right wing back. He gets the ball again. Tries to find Kristovic. Badiashile defends well. Here's Malo Gusto. Under 10 minutes of normal time remain. I don't see how Chelsea get a goal yet. It's going to take something out of absolutely nothing. Caicedo. Garnacho. Looking to combine with João Pedro. João Pedro does very well. Garnacho doesn't have a target in the box. It's a poor attempt. Why are you asking for a penalty there? Never going to get it. Tosin does well, but he loses out to Kristovic. He's dragged out of position now. Atalanta are in business if they get this right. What a pass that is for Lookman. Instant control here from Ademola Lookman. Lays it off. Arnour finds Kristovic. Brilliant challenge there from Caicedo. Well, some of his tackling has been elite. João Pedro trying to get away from trouble, but it's easy for Cossino. Here's the centre back again. Chelsea's quality in forward areas has been non-existent. I mean, we just can't wait for Cole Palmer to come back, man. Chelsea are running in fumes in the attacking stages here. That's a clear foul by Malo Gusto and Edison. Yep, terrible. And he's very fortunate he doesn't pick up a yellow card because he's so late. I mean, Garnacho sees that Zappacosta has got both hands behind his back and still appeals for a penalty. That shows you how desperate things have become here. Kristovic. It's Tosin who commits the foul. Chelsea are just playing some terrible football here. There's a chance for Charles de Ketelaere. Nobody closes him down here. De Ketelaere! And it's 2-1! They absolutely deserve it. Chelsea back off again. And it seems that we haven't learnt our lessons at all in this game. Atalanta have turned this around at the Bergamo and they're 2-1 up. That is a terrible goal to concede. Well, Scamacca scored his first goal in the Champions League. Now Charles de Ketelaere has done the same. Rob Sanchez should have done better as he gets a strong wrist to it. But the approach play before that from Chelsea is absolutely shocking. This one is on the team. This one is on the manager too. Again, Tosin commits the foul. They play it quickly. Chelsea are pulled out of position. Look at this. Look at Marc Cucurella. He's backing off. Cucurella has played against us today. There's no other way to explain this performance by Marc Cucurella. It's an active sabotage job from the Spanish fullback. Look at the what are you doing? Look at his positioning, man. He's falling to the ground. It's just bog standard. There's no other way to describe it. It is terrible from Chelsea. Atalanta deserve it. Chelsea deserve absolutely nothing from this. Enzo Maresca is not learning his lessons. His substitutions have been criminal. And he really is raising eyebrows that he just struggling to get out of this. The fact that he made the substitution in the manner of which he made the subs is head scratching, man. Here's Garnacho's ball into the box. João Pedro. Seems that now Chelsea will play with some intensity. Absolute criminals, man. It's 3:15 a.m. in India and I'm absolutely pissed off. This team, as much as I love them, sometimes I feel that they don't deserve my support, man. I love this club, but geez, sometimes they make it so difficult. Everton can beat us, at the weekend. It's going to go from bad to worse. Make no mistake about it. We've not learned any lessons. We play the same formation by the looks of it. The players don't seem bothered in the first half of games. I want to say another thing here, and I'm going to address this at some point in length, about the number of performances that we have dropped in the first half that have been absolute stinkers. There's no other way to describe it. Is it lethargy? Is it Enzo Maresca is not getting his team up for it? The instructions are not clear enough? There's just look at the play here, man. What the hell is going on? Even in the summer, when we bought João Pedro for 50 million, maybe he was bought as that, not a replacement, but a cover for Cole Palmer, right? His performance at the Club World Cup has hoodwinked everybody by the looks of it, because it's so clear we need a number 9. We have Delap and Mark Guiu. Really? What are we going to do with those two strikers, man? Yes, neither of them are playing today, but just shows you we're just dying out here. Look at this. Kristovic! And it's so close. From an impossible angle, trying to rifle that into the top corner. Again, Charles de Ketelaere is he's just torched Marc Cucurella this match. Well, Pasalic and Musa are coming on here as Atalanta look for a bit more fresh legs in the midfield area. Edison has been fantastic in midfield. See the likes of Enzo Fernandez and Moises Caicedo. They've been nowhere near the levels of the likes of Edison and Martin de Roon. And in the forward areas, it has been chalk and cheese. Compare how our front three of Gittins, Pedro Neto and João Pedro played, and compare that to Gianluca Scamacca, Charles de Ketelaere and Ademola Lookman. They have been streets ahead of our attack. Again, our recruitment, man. Yes, we're going to keep doing this where we buy young players and expect them to grow on the job, but goodness me. It is so deflating. Chelsea and December. Just awful. Again, now I want to see the test. Do we challenge Marco Carnesecchi in goal even once in the next 5 minutes? Say we got about 2.5 minutes plus maybe 4 minutes of stoppage time. That's 6.5 minutes. Forget a goal. I don't expect Chelsea to score, but can we trouble the goalkeeper once? That's how low the bar is. It's on the floor. Get a shot on target, a good, decent shot on target, and we'll say, fine, you've done something. But the reason why I'm saying this is because I know Chelsea are not going to do it. I just know it. Tosin has come on and he's looked shaky as hell. Only Josh Achimpong in our team can hold his head up high. Sanchez has dropped a stinker, make no mistake about it. His distribution, he has to do better. I mean, yes, it takes a deflection of Cucurella, but having gotten a strong wrist to it, it's very poor. Look at Garnacho. How can he not keep the ball in play there? There's no pressure. Bunch of scamsters, man. They really are. Enzo Maresca, this one's on you, my friend. Just like the game against Leeds, you got very lucky against Bournemouth. You are not going to get away with that in the Champions League. Not against teams which have quality players. I mean, Tosin wins headers, but look at that. It's straight back to the Atalanta player. Musa with the challenge. Into the 90th minute. I said before, 6 minutes for Chelsea to get a shot on target. Cucurella finds Alejandro Garnacho on the left-hand side. There's Garnacho. It's Alejandro Garnacho! Brilliant save by Carnesecchi. Well, it's only been Garnacho who's looking to drag our team out of this hole that we find ourselves in. So again, it's a comfortable height there for Carnesecchi. Chelsea do have a shot on target. Again, it's only been Garnacho. Gittins on the right-hand side. Since he's been shifted out, what has he done? Good feet there. Gets away. It's Malo Gusto's in the box. Cut back. It's Gittins. Pedro Neto. Reece James. Oh, it's just wide. Well, he's had 2 attempts in the second half. Both have been shot wide. Oh, you can see Reece James just looking to culture this into the corner. Not trying to hit it too hard. Just roll that into the bottom corner. Difficult technique. But Garnacho and Reece James coming close here. That was a good strike there from Garnacho. But once again, it's just individual moments. He's just decided that I'm going for goal here. But Chelsea are not going to get anything here at Bergamo, that's for sure. 4 minutes of stoppage time has been signalled by the 4th official. Benoit Badiashile. The 3 minutes of stoppage time remain. Chelsea's nightmare December continues. A loss against Leeds, a draw against Bournemouth, and a loss against Atalanta. 3 nightmare away fixtures. We were expecting 9 points. 6 in the league, 3 in the Champions League. We end up getting 1 point. Well, Chelsea are in 10th in the Champions League group as it stands, and we can fall much, much lower. Make no mistake about it. Tomorrow, the likes of Manchester City, Newcastle United, if they win games, they go ahead of us. It's just going to be a terrible season, isn't it? I can feel that impending doom. Here's Marc Cucurella. And where was this intensity? And just, oh my goodness me, Marc Cucurella, he needs to be dropped as well. So when our experienced players play like this, what chance do we have, man? Enzo Fernandez's job's dropped shocker after shocker in December. Cucurella has been well below the standards. Just look at Tosin's passing. What are you trying to do? It's the 93rd minute. João Pedro has played a lone warrior battle by himself, chasing down angles, chasing down the channels, and Tosin decides, I'm just going to rocket one into the channel again. Just brain-dead footballers, man. There's no other way to describe it. Time and space, and you make those kind of decisions. Sometimes wonder how they became professional footballers. Here's Garnacho. We got 40 seconds of stoppage time remaining here. James delivers the ball into the box. Gittins, good first touch. And he's been non-existent in the 90 minutes here. Lays it off. Moises Caicedo. Chelsea looking for an unlikely equalizer here. Gittins, surely the last attempt here. It's a terrible cross. It's cleared away. Badiashile keeps it alive. Malo Gusto has another opportunity. Cross comes in. Achimpong's there. Heads it away. João Pedro straight at the goalkeeper again. Carnesecchi with a big save. And that will be the last action as Chelsea tried their very best towards the end. We had 3 attempts really. One from Garnacho, one from Reece James, and one from João Pedro right at the end as the referee blows the full-time whistle at the New Balance Arena here in Bergamo, Italy. Chelsea get beaten here by Atalanta. They took the lead courtesy of João Pedro in the 25th minute. But from there, well, it was an undeserved lead, make no mistake about it. We were terrible in the first half. We were even worse in the second half. Enzo Maresca has to take so much of the blame. That's for sure. His substitutions were head-scratching in terms of the positional play that he put some of his players in. Our last 3 attempts were all in stoppage time. But Gianluca Scamacca's equalized in the 55th minute, and then Charles de Keteler's 83rd minute winner means that Atalanta have a 3-point advantage over Chelsea, and they leapfrog into 4th position as Enzo Maresca has a terrible return to Italy. He's been roundly beaten by an Atalanta side who are 12th in Serie A, and they thoroughly deserve it. Full time here at Bergamo.